It's time again for JAMPRO Connect. JAMPRO European Regional Office plays a pivotal role in promoting Jamaica as a top destination for investment, trade, and business opportunities. JAMPRO's primary responsibilities include attracting foreign direct investment from Europe into Jamaica, supporting Jamaican exports of goods and services in expanding into European markets, and facilitating strong business relationships between Jamaican and European companies. For more, I am joined by the manager for the European Regional Office, Lawrence Jones. Good morning.
Good morning, and thank you for having me.
Good morning, sir. So please, just give us a breakdown. What exactly is JAMPRO's European Regional Office doing for Jamaicans in terms of getting our products marketable?
Well, thanks for the question. At the JAMPRO London office, we tend to approach things in a very strategic manner. We don't take a one-size-fits-all approach. Instead, we kind of work closely with the Jamaican manufacturers and the service providers to understand their unique offerings and to basically connect them with the right buyers in the market. So, for a long time, we go to trade shows, and they're very important, and we support our companies going overseas. But within this office, we start by meeting with the Jamaican good manufacturers and the service providers to really gain a deep understanding of their products, their capabilities, and as well as their ambitions when it comes to exporting. So with that, we'll sort of work with them to understand the profile of the type of buyer that they want to engage with over here, whether it's like a retailer or a distributor, maybe even a food service provider or a corporate client. And we'll assist in refining their pitch decks, because coming over here, there are certain expectations the buyers have. So we want to set them off on the right foot, work on the pitch decks, the sales materials, and ensure that they effectively communicate the value proposition that they want to give to the buyer. And so once we have that clear profile of their buyer, our office over here will start to do some research to identify those European companies that fit the criteria. And then we do one more thing. We connect them directly. So we will arrange business-to-business virtual meetings via Teams or Zoom, as we are here today, and create direct engagement opportunities between the Jamaican suppliers and the European buyers. And hopefully coming out of those, face-to-face virtual meetings, they talk about specifications, they talk about unique selling points of the brands, and then finally, we'll help to arrange for those product samples to be delivered to the buyers over here. And coming out of that, those buyers hopefully come to Jamaica, or the exporters come over here, and we start signing contracts.
Interesting. I know every market is unique in terms of its considerations and regulations. Can you pinpoint some of those specific considerations for the European market?
Yeah, well, it is, just like the US, the European market presents a lot of opportunities, but you have to be very careful when planning and executing the strategy. We want to do our research. We want to understand the market. I mean, appreciating that the European market is really quite diverse, with lots of different countries, yes, each of them having distinct customer preferences, regulatory requirements, and competitive landscape. So the London office will help the companies in Jamaica to understand these trends, the pricings to expect, what's the going rate for certain products that they're trying to sell in the market, and the competition that they're coming up against. So, while all this is going on, we also want to be aware that Europe has some really strict regulations on products like food and beauty products. So we have to ensure that the labeling is right, the product certification is right. And for service providers, we'll need to ensure that they meet with the European Union data protection laws and certain industry standards. So it's really important that we understand those matters, but also this discussion was on earlier on your program. What are the import duties and the tariffs?
Yes.
What is the shipping costs? Because this is crucial to setting the price at which you'll be selling those goods in market. And then once you're ready to enter the market, JAMPRO will help you to identify reliable distribution partners who can get your product across the continent.
And based on current trends, what do you see as in terms of attractive services and goods that some Jamaicans may want to export into the European markets?
Well, typically it's food and drink products, the range of canned akis and the sauces and so on. But where we're seeing a lot of growth, and we've sort of picked up this initiative within the office, is to increase the exports of global digital services from Jamaica into Europe. This includes like your IT outsourcing, business process outsourcing, cybersecurity, digital marketing, software development. In Jamaica now, that industry has ballooned, especially since COVID. The amount of companies coming on the landscape and the diverse range of services being offered is making Jamaica look attractive. And in this office, we're trying to get that message out to all and sundry across UK and Europe, to connect with our IT companies and to procure those services. In fact, just this year, in the last 2 months, we've had 2 IT missions from Jamaica to London. The results of these targeted trade missions have been pretty positive, with Jamaican IT and BPO firms securing new contracts and long-term partnerships in Europe. So given this initial success this year, we're committed to expanding and rolling out that initiative throughout 2024 by hosting more trade missions to the UK and also now into continental Europe, strengthening those partnerships with European tech hubs, digital agencies and outsourcing firms, and really positioning Jamaica as a premier destination for high-value digital services. So we're going to keep this up. We think we can really move the value of exports by now adding in some more services into the mix that will accompany food and drink and hair and beauty products.
Okay, and then just finally then, let's say a business person here in Jamaica feels it's time now to look into exportation and they see the European market as a potentially attractive destination. What are some of the things that they should have in place before coming to JAMPRO in terms of starting that process?
Well, you certainly want to ensure that your products meet any regulatory requirements. So within Europe, the UK and the European Union packaging, ingredients, and allergen requirements. You want to know about that, you can come to us and we can give you the specifications on that. As I mentioned earlier, you want to look at the pricing of the products and that they will be competitive. So, assess your production costs. Also ensure that, that your production capacity is sufficient for the type of buyer that you're looking to engage. No point going to a big conglomerate that's going to require more product than you physically can produce within your current manufacturing facilities. Also, keep in mind things like, currency exchanges and the type of payment terms that you can manage. Some of these companies will say, our payment cycle is 90 days. That might have a really negative impact on your operations if you can't wait 90 days for your payments. So these are some of the things from both regulatory standards. There are also some voluntary standards that need to be met, especially in fresh fruit and vegetable and so on. But yeah, I think there are some points that need to be approached, but that's why we're here. We understand the market, and we can sit with you one-on-one and work those out.
Certainly. That is Lawrence Jones. He is the manager of the European Regional Office of JAMPRO. Thank you so much for that insightful information. We appreciate
And
it.
thank you for having me.
Have a
And
good morning.
I think you brought the sun to London today, 22 degrees. So we're competing in Kingston.
Thank you so much. I've never heard the temperature be so high in London, but that's interesting to hear. Have a good morning, Mr. Jones.
All the best. And to you and your audience. Bye-bye.
Okay, have a good morning.